It's time once again for Uncle Matt's bedtime story.
Hello, everybody. It's Uncle Matt, and I'm here to read you another bedtime story. And today is Remembrance Day. We want to remember all those that have served in military. Maybe they're active right now. Maybe they passed away. We just want to thank you for the things that you've done for our freedoms here in our country, in Canada. Last year I read a story, and I think I'm going to just post a link for that story for Remembrance Day. And here it is right here. Please check it out. It's about 30 minutes long, but I think it's a great story for Remembrance Day. I am going to read another story, and it doesn't have anything to do with Remembrance Day. And if you can kind of see outside, oh, it's starting to lighten up. It was dark. And in the dark, lots of things can happen. People work in the dark. Do you believe it? Maybe you're sleeping. People are working. I remember working a job. I had to stay up all night to make sure that residents were safe, and that the day shift could take over, that the fresh eyes kind of thing. But another job that I had that I didn't do at night, and some people do now, it's called delivering papers. It's The Paperboy, story and paintings by Pilkey. And this person delivered newspapers at night, in the middle of the night. And it looks like a dog is following or chasing the Paperboy. And yeah, it's weird. We read a story yesterday about how things change, technology changes, about just go picking up things kind of thing at the store, and how easy it is to be delivered. The same thing with newspapers. It was such a big deal to have newspapers to our front door so we can read about the news. It was like the first thing that we would do is read about the news. Nowadays, you can look on your phone or your tablet or something and read about the news. But that's what people used to do. They relied on the Paperboy to deliver you news. Notice how dark it is. See? And it looks like the newspaper is called Morning Star Gazette. And you can see from the printing press, the driver delivered a bundle of papers to a home for the paperboy or paper girl to deliver. Now, I wonder if this paperboy had to deliver papers every day, like it was a daily newspaper, or if maybe it was a weekly, maybe it was once or maybe twice a week they delivered. Okay, here we go. The mornings of the Paperboy are still dark, and they are always cold, even in the summer. And on these cold mornings, the Paperboy's bed is still warm, and it always is hard to get out of, even for his dog. But they do. And softly they step down the quiet hall, past the door where the Paperboy's father and mother are sleeping, past the door where his sister is asleep. and down to the kitchen where they eat from their bowls. Oh, I remember doing this. And out to the garage where they quickly fold their papers, snapping on green rubber bands and placing them in a large red bag. It's hard to ride a bike when you are loaded down with newspapers, but the Paperboy has learned how to do this, and he is good at it. The Paperboy knows his route by heart, so he doesn't even think about whose house to pedal to. Instead, he is thinking about other things, big things, and small things, and sometimes he is thinking about nothing at all. It's so early in the morning. His dog, too, knows this route by heart. He knows which trees are for sniffing. He knows which bird baths are for drinking, which squirrels are for chasing, and which cats are for growling at. And it seems that all the world is asleep, except for the Paperboy and his dog. And this is the time when they are the happiest. But little by little, the world around them wakes up. The stars and the moon fade away, and the skies become orange and pink. And when the Paperboy has delivered his last newspaper, he and his dog race home. And his empty red bag flaps behind him in the cold morning air, sort of like a flag. Soon they are back home. It is still dark inside, but the sounds of morning are all around. His father and mother are awake and talking softly in their bed, and his sister is downstairs watching cartoons. And back inside his own room, the Paperboy pulls down his shade and crawls back into his bed, which is still warm. And while all the world is waking up, the Paperboy is going back to sleep, and his dog is sleeping too. Their work is done. And now is the time for dreaming. The end. Yeah. The Paperboy. Well, that's all the time we have for Uncle Matt's bedtime story. I hope you enjoyed that story, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Hello, everybody. It's Uncle Matt, and I'm here to read you another bedtime story. But before I do that, I just want to take a moment to reflect and remember all the former soldiers that have fought for my freedoms here in Canada. All the things that I sometimes take for granted. I just want to say thank you.